Okay. Hi everybody, this is the tutorial for our gross income section. We are going to split this in half. We're going to spend the first half an hour making a gross income mind map, and then we're going to spend the next bit doing a question. Okay, we're going to be working quite fast, so if you are struggling to keep up, please go back and re-watch the recording. You can pause and make additional notes. However, if we don't move fast enough and we have to keep repeating ourselves, then we're not going to get through everything that we need to get through today. And I'd like to get as much benefit from this as possible. Please, you may ask questions if you are attending live. I welcome any questions and I welcome any participation. That would be absolutely fantastic. Okay, you will need to have your gross income question from 2020 also with you. We're going to be doing that in the last part, but we're going to start off with making our little mind map. If you are confused with the principles from the cases, please refer back to the lecture, which is also recorded, and the lecture recording, that was the one that was done last week. If you have not yet had your lecture on capital versus revenue, please don't worry. Those are going to be happening this coming Thursday. Some of you already have had your lecture yesterday, but please don't worry about capital versus revenue. Okay, we will be making those mind maps next week. Okay, great. So let me start. I am going to just close that and minimize my screen. So hopefully you will be able to see my hand here, okay? And we're going to start. I am going to begin by making a little thing in the opening part here. And I'm going to say gross income. Okay, now we know that gross income is in section 1 of the Income Tax Act. Are you guys all happy with that? I'm happy with that. Okay, you still with me? Okay, great. And we know, and I'm going to start at the top of the page over here, we know that in section 1, there are 2, and I'm going to make one bullet in, let's make it red. Okay. There is a definition for a resident. Okay. And the first part says total amount. Yes? And the next part says in cash or otherwise. And the next part says received by or accrued to in favor of the resident, obviously, as long as it's not of a capital nature during the year of assessment. Okay, nothing new. We've been seeing that for a while. Okay, are we happy with that? And we know that for a non-resident, okay, it's exactly the same as that, right? Except what? It's not worldwide income, it's what? Who could answer that? It's what? From an SA source. Great. Okay. Now, we have to be able to say yes to all of these. So it has to be all of these requirements. You all with me? All of them. Ha, I'm quite happy with that. We're good. We're good. Okay, let's move over to the first requirement. Okay, to the top of the other side. Okay, so I'm going to put a little 1 over here, and let's start with total amount in cash or otherwise. And I'm going to underline it to make it a heading. Okay, great stuff. So, who remembers our court cases? Which are the court cases? Give me some of them. Give me one. Later gaan. Okay, Butcher Brothers. Okay, yes. Geldenhuis, not for total amount. Okay. Yes, Brumeria. And People Stores. Okay, great. I've got my 4 court cases. Okay, let's start. Later gaan did speak to us about an amount. Okay. And it gave us that an amount has a wider meaning. Okay. And it includes every form of property. Which is corporeal and incorporeal. Now, in accounting talk, that would be tangible and intangible. Yes? Are you happy with that? As long as it has an amount, a value, it is included, and it includes a right to receive money in future. So if there is a debtor relationship and they're only going to pay me tomorrow or in 30 days, okay, it's still an amount. Are we happy with that? I'm happy with that. Okay, Butcher Brothers, they gave me 2 things. Okay, what's the first one? Onus, right? Onus is on commissioner to prove amount. Yes? And it must have an ascertainable monetary value. So if you can't turn it into cash, you can't put it into gross income. Right? So if it doesn't have a value, you can't put it into gross income. Okay. Let's go Brumeria. Ah, Brumeria. A right to an interest-free loan has an ascertainable monetary value. Haha. As long as what? And then we had those fancy Latin words. What were they? Who's got it for me? Who's got it for me? Come on, give it to me. Ah, love it. Quid pro quo. As long as it's in exchange for something. Not any interest-free loan, as long as you have an interest-free loan that is in exchange for something else. Okay. Then, sorry for you, it's in exchange for something, that means it has a monetary value. Okay. Now, People Stores said every form of property including debts and rights of action is an amount. Okay. Phew. That was quick and easy, right? Ha! We got this, guys. We got this. Okay. So I'm going to put like a little arrow here. So we've got our first one. Can we go to number 2? Let's go to number 2. Number 2. Okay. People Stores, every form of property, including debts and rights of action. Number 2, let's go to receive by. Okay. Received by. Let's go Geldenhuis. What did Geldenhuis tell us? What did Geldenhuis tell us? Anyone? Okay, yeah, we'll get to Mooi, but Mooi is for accrued too. Okay, Geldenhuis. It has to be for your own behalf and own benefit. Okay? Before you can say it's received by you. Yes. You can't just say own behalf. You have to say own behalf and own benefit. Okay. All of those. Otherwise, you're not going to get the marks. And if you're going to go read the case, it's about a usufruct and bare dominium. You can go add those words in once you've read the case. Okay, in that 26-page document. Okay, great. Who's got another case for me? Who's got another case for me for received by? Ah, Pyatt. Okay, I like Pyatt. Pyatt was, oh gosh, Pyatt was the biscuit tins, right? Okay, and that was about deposits. Do you remember that? Deposits on returnable containers, okay, were for own benefit. Okay? And why was that? Because the money was not kept in trust. That means what? If it's not kept in a trust, sorry for you, it's gross income. So if it's not kept in trust, it's gross income. Are you going to remember things like it can't be mixed with your other money, it must be separated from your other money, like a separate bank account, okay? You can't be in control of it. It doesn't mean it actually has to go into like a trust, like a legal entity of a trust, okay? But it must be in trust, like separate from your own money, not in your control, like a separate bank account, okay? Are you going to remember that? Can I get some thumbs up? Can I get some thumbs up? Okay, cool. How about, do we remember, I went through that case in class that said Jen and Co. Jen and Co. Genn and Co. And I said, if you go to the bank and I loan some money from the bank, do I include that amount in my gross income? And we said no, because a loan is not gross income, because there is an immediate obligation to repay it. Remember, there's no profit in that. There's an immediate obligation to repay it. Okay. And that one wasn't in the slides, and it wasn't in that document, that 26-page document. Okay, that's just an extra one. Okay. Do we remember the illegal ones? What were those two illegal ones that were on the slides? Come on, give me those two illegal ones. MP Finance. MP Finance. Okay, and Delagoa Bay. MP Finance was about what? That was the pyramid scheme, right? And Delagoa Bay was about the cigarette company that had the lottery. Are we happy? Okay. And what did they tell us? Okay. So let's start with Delagoa Bay. If your source of income is illegal, we don't care. It's immaterial. Immaterial, which means we don't care. We do not care. It's immaterial. If what you're doing, like running an illegal lottery, we don't care. If what you're doing is illegal, you're getting taxed on it. And later on, you're going to learn something about section 23.0. You don't need to know what that means now, but it's good to have it on your mind map anyway. Okay, great. Now let's go to MP Finance. MP Finance. MP Finance said illegal income is still gross income if the taxpayer has intended to receive the money for his own benefit and own behalf. Right? And that is a subjective test. Okay. It doesn't matter if the other people who invested in the pyramid scheme knew that he was going to take it. Okay. They gave it to him. Okay. They didn't necessarily know that it was a pyramid scheme, but they did give it to him. Now, what other case was linked to this that I read out to you in class? What other case was linked to this? Yes, Cot versus G. I love it. Cot versus G. And that was about that thief, right? Okay. And why was this one different? Because a unilateral taking is not a receipt. So it's not gross income. Does that make sense? So if I go steal someone's TV or steal someone's money or go hijack them, okay, I'm unilaterally taking it. They're not giving it to me, okay? I'm unilaterally taking it. Just like, okay, why it's different from MP Finance, because those people gave the money over. Does that make sense? Okay, that's why it's different. If you're unilaterally taking the money for theft, okay, it's different. Okay. Awesomeness. Are we happy? So now we've got those ones done. Let's go to accrued to. How about accrued to? Accrued to. Give me some cases. Later gaan. And people stores. And mooi. Good, guys, good. You got it, you got it. Okay. So later gaan told us what? That accrued to means entitled to. People stores also says means entitled to. Okay? But it doesn't need to be due and payable. So they may only need to pay me tomorrow or in 30 days or in 60 days, but that still means that it's accrued to. I've earned it. I'm entitled to it, even though they may only pay me in 30 days or 60 days. It's still accrued to me. Okay, you guys happy so far? Learning nothing new, nothing new. Okay, Moy. What did Moy add to entitled to? They said you've got to be unconditionally entitled to it. Okay? So that means it only becomes gross income when the conditions are fulfilled. When you meet the conditions. Awesome. You guys have got this, man. You've got it. You've got it. Now I'm going to add two more strangest headings. Okay. Can you dispose of my income before receipt or accrual? Ha ha. So yes, I can. But what? Something you don't know yet, there are anti-avoidance rules. You'll learn that in a couple of years' time. Okay? Okay? This will start making sense now. Can you dispose of your income after you have received or accrued it? Ha! No! What case was that? And we felt really sorry for them. Shame. Shame. Do we remember who they were? Yes, the racing club. Witwatersrand. Yes, Witwatersrand Racing is Association of Racing Clubs. Okay, I'm just going to write Witwatersrand. You can write Witwatersrand Association of Racing Clubs if you really want to be specific. Okay, and I'm going to just move this up a bit. Okay, but what was the principle we got out of that? They had a mere moral obligation, and that was irrelevant. Not important. No one cared. Okay? So sorry for you. It was gross income. Shame. What should they have done? They should have had an agent / principal relationship. And they should have done this before. Does that make sense? So why can't we dispose of the income afterwards? Because Witwatersrand tried to do that and they weren't allowed to. The court decided, you can't. Does that make sense? So how could they have done it? They could have done it with an agent or principal, signed those agreements, and then they would have been in this one, right? Okay. Awesomeness. Awesome. Now, let's go. How about we go for, what's the year of assessment for a natural person and for a not natural company? For a natural person, it is 1 March to 28 Feb. And for a not natural person, it's the financial year. Okay, so they got and collected all of the monies, received and accrued, all of that beautiful stuff. They tried not to get taxed on it. They ended up having to get taxed on it. What should they have done? They should have, before they earned any of the stuff, before it was received or accrued, they should have just entered into an arrangement so that they disposed of the income before they earned it. Okay, they should have had the income already given to the PBOs. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, awesome. So you can't get rid of your gross income after you've already earned it. Sorry for you. Okay, next, let's do our last one. Okay, let's go earlier of receipts or accrual. What case was that? What cases was that? Silver Glen Investments and Delphos. Silver Glen Investments and Delphos. You happy? Ooh, you know what else I can add in here? Wow. So all of these things are not defined. So look at case law. That's why we're writing down all these cases, right? Haha. Ooh, ooh, ooh. You know what I'm going to add in? Haha, haha. If it's otherwise, what value do we use? Market value. Haha. If it's in cash, these weird accountants and their financial calculators. Tax people. We don't like financial calculators. We want to do what with it? We want to use, we don't want to present value things. Okay. We use the face value, not the present value. Okay. So we don't present value it. Okay, cool. I'm happy with that, guys. So that is what we have. Are you good with that? What's the market value? That's market value. Market value. Okay. Now, if you are a little bit slow, please go watch the recording to this again. Okay. I really want to get to the question. Okay. So we really need to move on. Okay. It's really valuable for us to do the question. Present PV is present value. So not the present value, but the face value. The face value. So for example, if I say you must pay me 100 Rand in 10 years, all these accountants and financial managers and all of that stuff, they say, if you've got to pay me 100 Rand in 10 years time, that means it's worth less. And they want to put it in their financial calculators, and then they want to say, well, it's actually not worth 100 Rand, it's worth 87 Rand. And then they want to put 87 Rand into the financial. No, tax people don't overcomplicate things like that. Really. You put in 100 Rand. Okay? Awesome. We use the face value, not this present value random stuff. Okay, cool. Now that we've got our thing, we have our question. Now, this was a question from 2020, okay? It's only for 11 marks, and it's for 17 minutes. Now, when you get to a question like this, if you get to 17 minutes and 1 second, you stop. You stop and you move to the next question, okay? Because I don't want you to pass this question with flying colors and fail all the other questions, all right? Please, can I get a promise from each and every single one of you that you are not going to do that to me? Right? And while I would love for you to really pass my questions with flying colors, please don't fail because of me, because you love my questions. Spend all of your time on those questions, and then don't spend enough time on the other lecturers' questions. I know I have the best questions in the whole wide world, but please don't do that to me, because I need you to pass. Can I get a thumbs up from people? Thumbs up, thumbs up. Awesome. Yay, yay. Okay, so I'm going to read the required. Okay, it says you are required to write a letter. You know what I'm telling you there? You know what I'm telling you there? I'm like, this is 3 marks. That's 3 marks right there. Because if you put it in a letter format, I'm already going to give you 3 marks. Please, don't throw away your 3 marks by not putting it in a letter format. And then discuss, okay, so it's going to be a discussion question. What amount should be included in his gross income for the 2021 year of assessment? Your answer should include a reference to the Income Tax Act, okay, and case law. Oh, nice. And Teresa loves case law. And then it says communication marks, which is layout and structure, which is basically saying, put it in letter format, and you're going to get 1 mark. Okay, this question is in LA2A underneath the practical questions, and it's also in the tutorial section on ClickUp. Okay, great. Next, now let's go through our question. What I'm going to do, okay, is I'm going to have 2 highlighters. This highlighter is going to be is gross income. This highlighter is going to be is not gross income. Right? Okay, cool. Okay, Tato and Mansur Fresh are brothers. They are both residents. Ooh, that's nice. I don't have to do Cohen and Cuttle. In the Republic of South Africa. They're both employed in the entertainment industry and present their own popular radio talk shows. In addition to the remuneration that they earn, so they get salaries from their respective employers, Tatu and Mansur have traditionally actively invested in shares that they intend to hold for extended periods of time. So if they hold it for extended periods of time, oh, wrong color. If they hold things for extended periods of time, that probably means that it's whole capital in nature, right? And not gross income, right? As they've used these investments, they even tell us there. Shame, this lecture was really nice. For capital appreciation, because it's the longer term. Now, if you haven't gone and haven't had your lecture yet for capital versus revenue, please don't worry. This is not a capital versus revenue question. You'll still start to understand that when you have your lecture on Thursday. Some years ago, Tatu and Mansur identified that they should expand their investments to include those that were intended for short-term speculation. Aha! Short-term speculation means that it's revenue in nature, and that is gross income. After much discussion, they decided to purchase a portfolio of shares in 957 Limited. Okay. 957 is a South African company listed on the JSE that specializes in the manufacture of audio equipment, earphones, microphones, speakers that are specifically designed to cater for the African market. All the raw materials used to manufacture this audio equipment is locally sourced. On the date of purchase, so they purchased it then, Tatu and Mansur paid 50,000 Rand each as the purchase consideration for the shares. Okay, so now we know what the cost price was. Okay, despite a significant decline in the South African economy, 957 Limited has performed extremely well and the value of the shares have increased significantly. During the current year of assessment, a keen investor, Lebogang Reddy, made Tatu and Mansur an offer for their shares in 957 Limited, which they felt they could not refuse. After careful consideration and planning, they sold all their shares to Lebogang at an arm's length amount of 50,000 Rand each. Okay. Now, arm's length. Arm's length is another way of saying market value, right? And 50,000 Rand went to Tatu, and the other 50,000 went to Mansur. Okay. Now that means who are we dealing with here? Who are we dealing with? Oh, I mustn't forget which taxpayer I'm dealing with. Okay. On the 1st of February, okay, 1st of February, what year of assessment are we talking about? Year of assessment, that is 2021, okay? They signed a contract of sale agreement on this date, he paid them 80,000 rand of the purchase consideration into the one guy's account. That's weird. He paid everything into the one guy's account. Why? That's just odd. And why only 80,000 rand? What happened to the other 20? That's odd. Mansu immediately transferred 40,000 rand into Tatu's bank account. Wait, So he should have got 40, but now he got 80. Okay. Oh, but he gave the other 40 to to Tatu. Okay, no, that's fine. That's fine. Okay. Tatu, as was agreed, and it was agreed in the contract of sale. Okay, so that kind of reminds me of Witwatersrand. Okay, and it reminds me of Geldenhuys, right? Because he didn't receive all of the 80,000 on his own behalf and own benefit, only 40,000 rand for his own behalf and own benefit, because the other 40 went to Tatu for his behalf and his benefit, right? Are you still with me, guys? Okay. However, the remaining 20, okay, now they're talking about the other 20, would only be paid as soon as the shares attained a value of 200,000 per share. 200 rand per share. Provided this would happen within 1 year. Oh my goodness, that's a condition. What case is that? Mooi. But if I'm going to talk about mooi, I've also got to add in what? Laat gaan and people. Okay, and people stores. Okay, great. Subsequently, Mansoe submitted his tax return for 2021 year of assessment via SARSI filing. Shortly after his tax return was submitted, he was surprised to see that the full 100,000 was included in his gross income on his assessment. Mansoe wants to challenge the SARS as he feels that he should only be taxed on 40,000. Oh my goodness! SARS wants to tax him on everything. No, you kidding me? Okay, shame. We've got to help this oak. We've got to help him, guys. Okay, so let's do this. Now we're going to go through this quickly. You will be writing much neater. You will be writing in full sentences. Okay? So, first, what do we not forget for free marks? What do we not forget? Letter format. Are you happy with that? Because we need 1 mark. Okay. And then, what do we write down? Okay. We can say Mansoe Fresh is a resident. He will get taxed on his worldwide income. Section 1 of the Income Tax Act defines gross income. Yes? And gross income definition says the following. You must include your total amount. Now, what was the total amount here? Now, I'm just looking for Mansoe, okay? Now, the total amount that should have been included for him was 50,000. Yes? Are you guys happy with that? Because the other 50,000 should have gone to his brother. Okay. And then we go in cash or otherwise. So I can say 40,000 is in cash, and then the 10,000 is not in cash yet cause of condition. Okay, cool. Are we happy? Then we go, what's the next requirement? Okay. Because this may be a right to receive it. Okay. Then we go to receive by. Well, he did receive it. Received 40,000. When did he receive it? He received it on the 1st of February, right? Ha. On 1 Feb 21. Happy? Okay, cool. Did not receive the 10,000. Then we go accrued to. Are you happy with that? Okay. Accrued to. What do we talk about accrued to? You know what the problem is? I think issue here is that he also received Tatu's 40,000. And accrued to, I don't think the 10,000 accrued. Because remember, it's received by or accrued to. So if we didn't receive this 10,000, the only way we can include it is if we accrued it. But I don't think we did accrue it because it has a condition, right? Ish. So issue 2 is the 10,000 accrued. Okay, are you happy with that? Then we go during year of assessment, and we're going to say cash was in 2021 year of assessment, and then we go not of a capital nature. Haha. We say is not capital. Why not? Because they said in the question for speculation. Haha. They even said it is for speculation. Great. If you haven't had your lecture on capital versus revenue yet, don't worry. You'll get there on Thursday. Okay. So now we're going to get to this. Now let's deal with issue number 1. Number 1. Okay. It goes Tatu's money. Let's talk about Tatu's money. Okay. Okay. For an amount to be gross income, it must be for your own behalf and own benefit, right? What case is that? And we already wrote it down. Geldenhuis. Haha. But Manswe Fresh received the 40 on behalf of Tatu, so he can't get taxed on it as it's not on his own behalf and own benefit. Right? Problem 1 solved. Right? Cool. Next one. Let's go to issue 2. Okay. The 10,000 Rand. Accrued means entitled to. What 2 cases? Who can give me the 2 cases? We almost finished, guys. Almost. Accrued to means what? Entitled to what 2 cases? Later gaan. And people. Stores. Great. But it must be unconditionally entitled to it. And what case is that? Mooi. Haha. Manswe Fresh is not unconditionally entitled to it as it has not yet reached 200 Rand per share. Right? So it is not gross income and he can't get taxed in 2021. Yes? And then we're going to turn over the page and we're going to conclude. Yes? And you're going to say, well, there was 100,000 minus his brother's 40 minus his brother's 10, well, him and his brother's 20, okay, which was not yet accrued, okay. How much should be included? 40,000. Okay, there we go, done. Okay, now, let's take a look at the marks on this, okay. Can we take a look at some of the marks on this? If we do a letter format, we're already getting a mark, okay? Already, if this is just an 11 mark question, okay? You're gonna get, and they mark in half marks generally, you'll get a half mark for saying each of the requirements of the gross income definition, okay? You're gonna go half a mark here, half a mark there, so one full mark there. One full mark there, one full mark there, one full mark there, one full mark there, one full mark there. Guys, look how many marks we've already got. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If you wanted to pass this question, you stop now. And we haven't even done anything. No cases, no nothing. Right? Okay. For identifying what the issues are, okay, you're also going to get a half a mark each. What are the problems? Okay. Then, for giving Geldenhuis and its theory, another half a mark each, which is a full mark. Yes? Are you happy? For applying it, okay, another half a mark each. For giving entitled to and those, that's another half a mark each. Half a mark, half a mark. Unconditionally and mooi, half a mark, half a mark. Okay? For applying it, it's another half a mark, half a mark. Okay? So guys, can you see this? And then your conclusion will be another full mark. You get it? So, if it was a much bigger question, you would also get marks for resident and worldwide income, okay? And saying things like, not defined, all of that stuff. Now, I'm just going to flick to my face quickly, okay, so that you can see me. Okay, now, when we did this question, did we discuss Butcher Brothers? Did we discuss Butcher Brothers? No, because was the issue about an amount? No, the issue wasn't about an amount. So we didn't care about giving Butcher Brothers and all of that stuff. We said, where are my problem areas? So I give the gross income, okay, in its little parts. Total amount. Can I answer that question? Yes, just give it. In cash? Yes, just give it. Is it otherwise? Yes, just give it. Oh, received. There's a problem. He received some tattoos. Let's dig further into that and give the case law that just applies to that, right? Did it accrue? Oh, there's a bit of an issue with that. And just expand on that. We don't want to spend 20 minutes of our time discussing the onus is on the commissioner, okay? That there is an amount. The amount was given to us. It's 50,000 rand. We're not going to get marks for that, okay? So you spend your time where the issue is. We don't want to spend time on information that's just given to us, okay? So we're going to spend our time on where the problems are, okay? Does that make sense? Can I get some thumbs up? Awesome. Awesome. Okay, I am pretty happy. Now, what I need you to do, there is the other question that I loaded on. I want you now, okay, to go read through the question. You're going to use the same principles that we used for this question, okay? You do not look at the solution. You're going to go through it, okay? Write down your answer quickly. Listen, you don't have to write in full sentences. You can write like I wrote, okay? And you then going to open your solution. You're going to say, okay, mark myself, okay? And whatever you struggled with, focus on that area when you're studying. Okay, does that make sense? That's how you're going to get the most benefit out of that question, okay? I would have loved to spend additional time on being able to go through that question with you, but we just don't have the time. Okay, I thought it would be more valuable to make a little mind map. Okay, remember, next week, Tuesday, we're going to do our last mind map that you're going to do with me, which is capital versus revenue, which is going to be another big one. And that means in total, with all of my topics, you will have 3 mind maps. One on residency, one on the normal gross income, one on capital versus revenue. That's it. 3 pages to study from. Okay. You should be adding additional things into it. So you'll see there's one case that I haven't put in here, which is the gift cards one. You can go put that one in, and that's about it. So I'm going to stop this recording now. But do any of you have any questions for me before I stop the recording? Please go back to the solution to the issue 2. Okay, I can do that. Okay, issue 2. Is the 10,000 rand accrued to him? Accrued means entitled to from later gaan and people stores, but it must be unconditionally entitlement. Okay, which is from Moy. Then I said month refresh is not unconditionally entitled to it. Okay, as it has not yet reached 200 Rand per share, so it's not his gross income for the 2021 year of assessment. Okay, you good? Okay, thanks guys. I'm going to stop the recording.